I don't know whose ego gets massaged more in this movie, LeBron James or Warner Brothers. Hey movie fans, so I just saw Space Jam: A New Legacy. Now I gotta get this disclosure out of the way up front. I grew up watching the original Space Jam, but looking back on it, I can fully acknowledge that it is not as good as we remember. So I was kind of against, I've had a long road with this movie. Not wanting it to happen, like a lot of people my age. Kind of digging some of the trailers, then leading me up to where I'm at now, of I don't know what I'm gonna make of this movie. Having now seen it, I still don't know what I make of this movie. It is not very good, but it might be better than the original?
That's for blasphemy.
Puts up shields because I know y'all are gonna come at me. For some reason, so many people have nostalgia goggles for Space Jam. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the original just fine, but it's not like this masterpiece that everyone claims it is, or like one of the best kids movies of all time. It's kind of a really weird movie, and this kind of falls into the same thing. You got a superstar basketball player who needs to massage his ego somehow and is in a movie. The movie basically starts with, look how great LeBron James is. However, I will give this movie a pass because they did the exact same thing with, look how great Michael Jordan is back in the original Space Jam. So we kind of get a flashback to young LeBron kind of playing video games. It's a weird tie, but I guess it kind of works. The plot starts to happen, and LeBron now has to team up with the Looney Tunes to basically free all of mankind from this virtual game hosted by Don Cheadle. It's a weird movie, man, and most of this does not work to the extent of the first one. However, this isn't a complete waste of time like I was expecting it to be. I had seen a lot of reviews going into this that this was just abysmal and a train wreck. For the most part, it has its moments, but it's frustratingly spotty is how I'll describe it, because certain parts of it, I'll be honest, I laughed out loud a bit. Other parts, I cringed and rolled my eyes with outdated references. We've got a Big Chungus Easter egg. Yay, I guess. However, there's some other Easter eggs in this that are kind of worthwhile. Without dipping too much into spoilers, they do bank a little bit on the Michael Jordan, but to say how they utilize Michael Jordan in this would be giving away, honestly, one of the best jokes in the movie, so I don't want to ruin it for you guys. Let's address the elephant in the room. How is LeBron compared to Jordan from a film perspective? We're not going to dive into that scary territory of who's the greatest basketball player of all time. It's Jordan, by the way. From an acting perspective, Jordan is no LeBron. LeBron is a much better actor in other roles. I think he is okay. He's a much better voice actor than he is an actor, which is kind of weird to say, but he gets digitized at a point in this movie and becomes an animated character. When that happens, he seems to be having much more fun with it. He's more laid back. His actual on-camera persona comes across as a bit stiff and wooden. I've seen him in good performances. I've seen him in Trainwreck, which he was pretty charming in that.
We're watching Downton Abbey later?
If I get out of here on time, yeah, we could watch it. If not, let's do it tomorrow.
What? Listen, I'm watching it tonight because I'm not going to go to practice in the morning and all the guys are talking about it and I'm left out.
I have no stake in this. I'm not the biggest LeBron fan. I'm not against LeBron. He's just whatever. I don't follow basketball particularly a lot, but he's whatever in this movie. Your athletes in movies in general are very hit or miss, and it's still a miss, but it's more of a hit than the original Space Jam because Michael Jordan couldn't act his way out of a paper bag. So make of that what you will. However, not everyone's bad. Don Cheadle is trying to carry this movie on his back as the main villain, Al-G. They also jam-pack every Easter egg they possibly can, whether it belongs there or not. Like I said in the intro, I don't know whose ego gets massaged more. LeBron James for talking about how great he is throughout this movie, or Warner Brothers who blatantly just throughout this movie, look at all this stuff, now available on HBO Max. Look at all this stuff that we own, now available on HBO Max. Are you watching this on HBO Max? Please watch this on HBO Max. Like, come on, guys. Utilize your cameos a little bit better. They tease some stuff in the trailers of they'll have to go into these IPs to recruit the Looney Tunes. That is a scene. That is a montage that actually was kind of clever at points. Other times, Matrix was a little bit cringy. that being said, the movie is gorgeous to look at. I thought some of the animation was outstanding, the colors, the vibrancy, it really stands out, so I think kids will very much be entertained by this. This movie obviously is for kids, and in that respect, I think the movie succeeds. I think older generations that grew up with the original Space Jam have to realize that when they watch Space Jam, it was as kids, and they need to understand that this is for younger kids, and I think younger kids will be fine with this. However, I think there's actually one or two halfway decent jokes for adults. I'm not gonna lie. There's a Bobby Knight reference for you old school basketball fans, and I'm going, wait, is that a Bobby Knight reference? Sure, why not? Let's do that. And while they like to pump up LeBron's ego, they're not above taking one or two shots at him, which I appreciated as someone that likes to make fun of him from time to time. This movie is not great. It's not nearly as bad as I was expecting it to be. However, I don't particularly want this franchise to continue on. There's some positives, there's a lot of negatives. It looks good for the most part. Like, the visual spectacle is fantastic. Don Cheadle's a great villain. But it's a lot of everything else. The tunes are just kind of mismanaged. They're kind of an afterthought for a lot of this movie. I don't think the Looney Tunes are given the proper respect that they deserve, which is unfortunately a lot of how Warner Bros. Has treated the Looney Tunes lately, as an afterthought, which is unfortunate. I'm not the biggest Tunes fan, but I understand their place in animation history, and it was kind of weird to see how they've been treated recently. But yeah, by and large, it's not as bad as I was expecting, but not as good as I had hoped. So make of that what you will. It's exactly what you're probably expecting it to be, and nothing more. So if you have nothing better to do and are that emotionally attached to the original Space Jam and want like 2 or 3 good jokes, or if you want to watch something with your kids, maybe watch it. It's not awful, but it's not great. Well, what did you guys think? Have you seen Space Jam: A New Legacy? Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the movie, or if you're even interested in it whatsoever. I always like hearing from you guys. And as always, if you like what you see and want to see more, subscribe to the channel or follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Uncharted Media and you'll find us there. And as always, stay sharp, movie guys and gals.